Hi, I'm Dave Mattson, CEO of Sandler. Today, I've got two special guests, and I'm honored to have Gerry Weinberg and Alana Nicol, who are working out of Detroit. And Gerry's been with us for 28 years. Now, I've known Gerry longer than I've known my children. So Gerry and I have made this journey a long time ago. So welcome, both of you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So Gerry, let's go back in time now. We've got the time machine.
Sure.
Tell us a little about, why you got into the business. And then I'd like to kind of talk about how you've transitioned since you've been in the business over 28 years, because the market certainly has changed probably 6 or 7 times since you and I have been here.
At least, right. Yeah. So if I go back to 1992, I had been what I thought was a pretty good sales manager guy. I headed up sales and marketing for Sealy Mattress Company in the state of Michigan. And we went through a lawsuit and a buyout. And anyway, bottom line, I was out of a job. And quite frankly, that's how I wound up at Sandler. Saw an ad in the Wall Street Journal. I think it had a one-word headline, unhappy. And, so I picked up the phone, called. There was a program coming up in Baltimore. So I drove down to Baltimore, and basically I said to myself, I can do this because I'm a sales guy. And so I remember writing a check, and next thing I know, I got a business. And I didn't know it was a business initially. To me, it was a sales job.
Right.
But at the time, I had 4 kids, college, and a wife with good taste. So full disclosure, Alana's our daughter. And so we're glad she's in the business.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened over a period of time is I was determined to make this a success. I had great passion right out of the gate. I recall being Rookie of the Year, my first year, of course, and we just kept growing and, being competitive and having great ambition and great drive. Made it happen, started off by myself. Next thing you know, we had an associate, and we had another associate. Some came, some left. And over a period of years, a lot of them didn't make it because I probably, in truth, was not a good manager. I was a sales guy. So I just absolutely love selling and training. And next thing you know, we went from a onesie-twosie business, and we started to have some satisfied clients. And next thing you know, they'd start introducing us to other people. And all of a sudden, over a period of years, and let's face it, our marketplace is not growing.
Right.
And we've had certainly probably more downs in the area than ups. But we wind up with some very nice, good size accounts, and it's a totally different business today. And now with the last 4 months of Zoom, we're doing things we never dreamed we'd do before. And it just keeps moving. So we realized that we had some legacy issues as I started to get up in years, and I'm still getting up in years, obviously. But Sandler's in my blood. I can't retire, but no matter what, Alana now owns the business, and we've got a future. And everything is here for continued great success, and she's taking the ball and running with it. And it's beautiful to see it happen.
Well, I have to ask you because I know Alana has done a fantastic job. She's picked up that baton and really has kicked it into the left lane. Not that it wasn't, but it's a business from a different perspective, right?
Of course.
When you first came into the business, did you ever even envision that it was going to be a family-owned business and that Alana was going to join you?
there was
probably
no way.
How old was she at the time? You don't have to say, but she was young, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's been here 16 years now.
16 years.
So she's doing a great job, and she brings skills to the business that, quite frankly, I wasn't really good at, and I've got skills that are helping her. So together we do a lot of teamwork. And it's wonderful to see it happen.
So Alana, from your perspective, you've been there 16 years, and I don't know whether you begged into to be in the business, or you kind of got dragged into the business. I don't know, but it would seem I've seen just a huge transition and growth. I mean, awesome. I mean, that's what Sandler does, right? It's the personal development.
Yes.
It's just fantastic. And I'd love to just hear a little bit about your journey and what you're seeing happen now.
Sure. So how I got on the business was actually the happiest of accidents. It was a default for me. I came out of corporate America. I got a packaging degree. We moved back to Michigan because I wanted to be closer to family, and said, oh, I'll just go work for my dad, having absolutely no idea what that was. Afraid of the word sales, thought I would never sell. So to say it's a journey has been a complete understatement. The word doesn't even seem adequate. But I got to tell you, I'm beyond grateful of the journey that I've been on. And I can tell you my personal growth over the 16 years has come as a direct result of being around this network, being exposed to what we do, all of the attitude side of things of what we do, and learning those relationships between the Sandler Success Triangle has kind of transformed me. And I found a passion for something that I definitely did not know was there. So for me, it's been the best accident.
Well, I'll tell you, our clients meaning Sandler brand, will probably say three things. I wish I met you 20 years ago, because it would have changed the trajectory of my career. I want my children to go through this so they don't have to learn through the road of hard knocks as I did. And I use this in my personal life as much as I use it in my business life.
Sure.
And certainly I think that's true here as well. You guys have seen, and you said it, that the support of the network. And I'd like to kind of talk about that, because what we have here at Sandler doesn't really exist in corporate America, and it doesn't exist in other franchises, how that collaboration between the field, and I would say between home office as well. Love your perspective on that.
Sure. I mean, I can tell you personally, the network and all of that is the why I wanted to buy the business, right? I would not have been interested in Gerry, Weinberg and Associates' little office on our own. The network is extremely collaborative, not to mention impressively inspiring. I mean, to be able to be surrounded with some of the individuals that we're blessed to have in our network helps make us better every single day. We are by far leading edge in making sure that we're bringing what we need to in the market. You've made incredible investments in people and technology to help get us there. I mean, when I joined the business 16 years ago, the brand recognition was nowhere near where it is today. And just in my 16 years, I've seen a huge evolution for the better. And I can't wait to see what the next 16 years brings.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, last year we trained 31,000 people in class. In about 3 weeks, we went total virtual, right? Just because of the pandemic. And even though Sandler was probably 3 years ahead of the virtual stuff, because we had started that years ahead of time, which is now proven out to be a good idea. I mean, the world just changed. We've done 3,000 virtual seminars, not webinars, seminars since March 1st, which is incredible. Just the changes that you both have seen from the marketplace, because we've gone from, Gerry, you and I, tapes, right? Now to we've got LMSs and things are streaming, and now we've got artificial intelligence. I mean, it would be interesting to see from your perspective, the transition, and then what's the impact on your clients' lives? Because that's the thing that I always think gets washed over a little bit.
I mean, I can tell you many a time, my wife and I will be somewhere in a restaurant or walking around downtown, and somebody will come up to me and, hey, remember me? You changed my life. I mean, I hear that a lot. And we've also made a lot of millionaires out of our clients. I mean, so it's personal growth and it's business growth. And I mean, I love to see the growth in our clients and know that we had a piece of it. It's great. And I can tell you from the network, some of my closest personal friends are Sandler people, because nobody else understands what we do. And I remember early on telling people that I bought a franchise, and the look on their face said, "You did what?" Because that's the image. But the network is really home office and us. The fact that we help each other. I was just saying to Alana 10 minutes ago, I got a call today from a female franchisee, and I wish we had more of them, quite frankly, we need that, who's, I think, still in her first year, and asked me to give her a call for some coaching. And I can remember when I got started, there were people that kind of took me under their wing. And now I feel I have an obligation to give back in the same way. And it's gratifying. It's just a very unique network.
Yeah, it's almost, everyone uses the word internally. It's tough to understand from the outside world. It's a family atmosphere.
Yes.
And I think we constantly look after each other. I think when the franchisees, as you just pointed out, somebody asks for help, we all rally around, and everybody's had an issue or a crisis where if you were by yourself as a sole entrepreneur without a network, you'd be in trouble. But because everybody kind of jumps in and helps, I mean, you've seen it now for decades. Alana, you've been part of it. You've helped others, because I know that you've jumped in and helped others as well. We've talked about franchising, and then franchising, you bought a what? So, sometimes franchises are viewed as this restrictive thing, right? You must do X, it's a contractual relationship. This is how you will do it. We will cancel you, all that type of stuff. Let's talk a little bit about the different models that are out there, because although we have 265 franchises, everyone has their passion. Some is coaching, some's management training, some's public programs with mastery, some's corporate. Let's talk a little bit about the flexibility and what that means to your business.
I think that's a great way of putting it, in flexibility. And it is the most unique setup, because I don't think you could line up 10 franchises and have 10 similar, exactly the same business models. Right. So it allows us to kind of take our strengths and use those in our advantage to what we enjoy and what we have passion around. And some of us want a team and a big business with a large group of people, and others want a smaller business that allows total flexibility and freedom. And it's great to see a mix of both in the network. I know I came from a corporate background and obviously non-sales background. And it's nice that I can call on service certain accounts that maybe he would not have had an interest in. And it's really helped increase the dynamics and the diversity of our client mix, just between the different backgrounds and strengths that everyone on our team has.
I'm probably going to say, I'm sitting in our conference. I don't think any of us said, hey, in March 2020, we're going to go completely virtual. We're not going to see a client for a while. And we can all talk about what the new normal is. I don't think anyone actually knows what the new normal is. But let's talk a little bit about the shift that you were able to make from just face-to-face, although of course we did phone coaching, to now just virtual. And of course, I think it'll end up being a blended approach. Absolutely. But let's talk a bit about that, because I don't think anyone saw that coming, but yet you guys have done a fantastic job.
Yeah, the ability, thankfully, I feel grateful that we were using the technology already before this hit, but obviously we had to maximize it and increase the frequency and even improve the delivery of doing so. But we've gotten phenomenal feedback from our client that we really didn't miss a beat, and that we've been able to support them sometimes in a better way than we were before. And I just feel so grateful that we were able to make that amount of impact to our clients during this challenging time, where if we didn't have that technology, it would have been so much harder to help them. And to be able to be on the leading edge and help them with how to make those adjustments to sell virtually, because you got a lot of salespeople that are used to face-to-face and driving their territory and doing drop-ins and stop-bys, and can't do that anymore. So the ability to leverage the technology to help our clients make those adjustments as needed has been really fulfilling. But it also helps us with our quality of life, with everything, just being able to use the technology ourselves. Very grateful that it exists and that we've been able to maximize it. And I really feel like as a network, we're leading edge at using it. Obviously, there's always a farther way to move the bar, but very grateful that we have the level of experience and that this kind of forced us to up that game even higher.
For sure.
Well, you have chosen to bring on associates. You've built a company. Gerry, you certainly have built a legacy. So let's talk a bit about that, because there's a lot of trainers and franchises that choose not to have employees or choose not to have salespeople. You have. And so I guess a little bit about that journey, what caused you to make that decision? And then has it impacted your freedom of choice, which is, the ability to kind of choose and do what you'd like? Hey, I want to leave here, or I would like to do that, because you've got people here that are supporting your company. Talk a little bit about that.
Sure. The first associate that was ever part of our company happened by accident. He was someone that was out of work, and so I offered him to come in and maybe network a little bit. Next thing you know, he says, "Hey, I think I'd like to do this," and we kept growing. So we probably have our best team ever today. There are 4 of us who sell and train, and we have a marketing person and an admin person. So our team of 6 is really family. And this is the first time we've probably been comfortable saying that. Alana set up daily huddles as soon as the pandemic began. We just had an offsite up north. One of our guys actually is about 160 miles north of us and has not been in the office ever since. And he's doing training from there. He's doing selling from there, and he's on a lake and he's having the time of his life. So proves it can be done. And so we were up there and we had an offsite planning meeting, and we do that quarterly. So the communication has been huge, and also with other franchisees that we kind of hang around with, that we've helped each other. And so we share a lot of best practices, and that's been helpful as well. And then the support from Baltimore, from home office, has always been strong. So.
And I think you get to a point where you have a decision to make, right? So you can either continue to be your solo producer, which is the right journey for a lot of people. And then there's other people that want more, and there's like a max that you can handle as a solopreneur. And by being able to build a team of producers and trainers to help share the training, I think it gives a lot of leverage. Each one of the 4 of us that train have completely different training styles, which I think is an advantage to our clients because they're going to hear different things differently. I'm going on vacation for a week next week and feel completely comfortable that as I'm gone, I have a team that, and we just help each other, support each other. But I think it's up to the individual journey. But for us, we really wanted to grow this thing. I have a disc profile that's team oriented. So I tend to, that's my style, which is unique to him. And I think even that's been one of the biggest transitions from his legacy to my legacy, is just the way the company is run, the way that we communicate, and building that team was really important to me. So we've seen the transition, I'd say, over the last 5-8 years of it to be more even team oriented, even when we had salespeople, associates before.
So is your client, I'd love to look, just for people looking at the business, can you talk a little bit about your client mix? And then also, how long does an average client stay with you?
So the client mix is, I think, one of the best and most appealing things about this business is there really isn't an industry that we found that we can't make an impact in. We're in the Detroit market, so there's a lot of large automotive type companies and things. So we have some of those. We also have a lot of small individual and medium-sized businesses. And so we found that for us, we don't have a niche industry. We service a lot of different industries. We're heavy in some more than others. But it's important to us to keep that mix, because for us, an all large elephant isn't a good process for us, and teeny tiny squirrels and small individuals isn't enough in and of its own. So being able to build that diverse industry and diverse company size has really been important for us, so that we can leverage our, what we would call kind of public training, and let them be in a room together instead of having to be in individual rooms all the time, has really been the key to, I think, our success and longevity, to be able to have that broad mix.
Yeah, and from a time management point of view, the ability to leverage public as well as private training is important. I mean, I can think back, let's go before the pandemic, there were days none of us would be in the office, because we're all out doing our thing with our clients. Right. I started off in the business really loving to work with entrepreneurs. because they get it and they're decisive, and most
Motivated,
of them
right?
come from a sales background. And slowly we've just grown and grown, and we've got some very large customers right now. But we know that, and you're talking longevity, it's not a forever deal. So we have to keep plugging and helping them and growing them and showing our value. And there's always turnover, with clients, so that helps the business. But to answer the question directly, I don't think we're ever going to be satisfied with the longevity piece.
But we had a guy in today. How long has he been around? If we had to guess, I mean, probably 15 plus years. So I would say, a fair amount of time for a lot of them.
Well, you're obviously bringing value year after year, or nobody's going to spend their time for 15 years, right?
Yeah.
And I also think that's just a testament to, first of all, your ability and the depth of the material, because we've got so many different avenues that person could have gone. If they started in, let's say, an inside sales job, and they went to an AE job, and then they went to enterprise, and then sales management, and then they bought their own business, they could take that professional road with you, start to finish. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
So let me ask you both a quick question before we end.
Go.
If you had to pick one thing that would be the most satisfying, and I'll ask each of you, for you, could be in the business side, personal side, what's the most satisfying thing as far as being a franchise, running your own thing, having the freedom? What would it be for each of you?
Well, for me, coming out of a bigger company world, and I guess you'd call me a maverick to begin with. I'm not good at following corporate orders. I just produced revenue. That was I saw my role. So here I'm fireproof. I mean, that's why I bought the business, quite frankly. I wanted to be in total charge of my own destiny. If I want to take time off, I take time off. I mean, the lifestyle has been incredible. And this could not happen without Sandler, quite frankly. And the personal growth, as Alana said, the family growth. And it's a beautiful thing, to work with your daughter. I mean, I never dreamed this could happen. And we still got to it. And we were still growing at it. I mean, it's a work in progress.
Alana, how about you?
I think if I had to pick one thing, for me, it's the impact that we make. It never gets old to see the light bulbs go off, and it never gets old to hear people say, "Oh my gosh, that changed my world." And just to know that you're a part of somebody else's journey and success, to me, is the most rewarding thing. Obviously, I feel strongly because I felt that same growth and I've experienced it, and just being able to be that for someone else and watch the journey for me, it's the impact.
Well, you both know I'm huge fans of you. We've all grown up together, and we certainly will continue to do so. So if you want to control your own destiny or make an impact on other people's lives, maybe even your life, and create a vision for you and your family, maybe even a legacy, and have somebody in the family join your business, why don't you give us a call? It's 410-559-2033, or you can email us at franchising@sandler.com. We're looking forward to the opportunity to speak and see if this could be the last career stop for you.